First on CBS this morning, a disturbing new government report out this morning says baby food from some of the country's largest manufacturers is tainted with toxic heavy metals. And if that doesn't get your attention, nothing will. The report from a U.S. House subcommittee looks at several companies' own internal documents, and it says those baby foods have, quote, significant levels of substances including lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. The metals can be especially dangerous to babies and toddlers' brain development. Consumer investigative reporter Anna Werner is following all this for us. Anna, good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, you know, Tony, parents often say they're looking for the healthiest, safest food they can feed their babies, free of chemicals and anything that might harm them. But how do you look for something you're not even aware of?
Carrie Kerner of Westport, Connecticut had her first child, Chloe, a year ago. And ever since, she's been paying close attention to what's in Chloe's baby food.
I just looked for ingredients. If there was any added preservatives or any sweeteners or added sugars, I wouldn't buy it. So I basically just wanted to get organic.
But one thing she says she and her husband, Brian, who is a doctor, never worried about was whether the baby food contained toxic metals.
That's the least thing a mother wants to think about. You're already worrying about choking and about what goes into these foods. That's very concerning as a new mom.
Yet a new congressional subcommittee investigation finds major concerns over the presence of metals in baby food. The report says baby foods are tainted with dangerous levels of toxic heavy metals, including arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. Researchers say developing brains of babies and young children are uniquely vulnerable to toxic chemicals, which can cause permanent brain injury, with risks for lowering IQ, problems in school, even criminal behavior later in life. And that's why Congressman Krishnamurthi told us that getting heavy metals out of food sold for infants is critical.
I don't know a mom or dad that wants neurotoxins in their baby's foods.
Investigators asked 7 U.S. baby food manufacturers to provide internal documents and test results. Of the 4 that did, all showed the presence of lead, arsenic, and cadmium in their own test results, at levels the report says eclipse maximum levels set for other products. For example, the report says compared to the levels allowed by the FDA in bottled water, the results were up to 91 times the arsenic level, up to 69 times the cadmium level, and up to 177 times the lead level. We asked all 7 companies for comment. Those who responded said they are committed to safety. All told us they either comply with government standards, have developed their own internal quality and testing standards, or both. And several said they are part of the Baby Food Council, a group formed with the goal of voluntarily reducing heavy metals in baby foods. But the problem is not new. Consumer Reports did its own spot check testing of 50 nationally distributed baby foods in 2018, finding every product had measurable levels of at least one of 3 heavy metals. 2/3 had worrisome levels of at least 1 heavy metal. Consumer Reports' James Dickerson says parents should not panic, but take steps.
That's the real big issue. You want to minimize the risk. You can't eliminate it entirely, but you can minimize it, and there are steps that we can take.
He tells parents to limit rice and sweet potato products, which tend to absorb more pollutants because of the way they're grown, to avoid snacks like crackers and puffs, which in CR's investigation had higher levels of heavy metals, and to vary their child's diet. And Congressman Krishnamoorthi believes that voluntary industry efforts aren't enough. He plans legislation to increase FDA oversight.
So now we need the FDA to step into the breach and do what I think the American people believe it is its job to do, which is to make sure that the food that their babies consume is safe.
Well, we have a number of producers on our staff who, after hearing this, said, now what do I do? Do I throw out all the food in my pantry? Experts say the answer is no. They don't want people to panic. They say it's all about balancing your infant's diet and moderation. And we asked the FDA for its response. The agency says it's working to get toxic elements out of foods, but it acknowledges there is more work to be done. Anthony, by one group's estimate, 9 out of 10 of the baby foods that they tested in 2019 had no federal safety limit for these heavy metals.
Wow. Everything about this is alarming, Anna. I mean, I'm with the mother you interviewed, Carrie Kerner, who said, you know, we've got so many other things to worry about. You don't even think about this, but you have to. Anna, thanks very much.